All right, so let's get into spoilers. Oh my gosh. So, the best part of the movie was the first 15, 20 minutes. So, it goes back to 17th century Japan, and Lin Kuei assassins attack and kill Hanzo Hazashi, Scorpion's wife, and son. They do hide a baby, though. So, anyway, he comes back, he fights, he does a good job, but Sub-Zero, takes him out. But his little daughter, the baby daughter, she lives, and Raiden then comes. So I will just say this though, like Sub-Zero and Scorpion was the greatest thing, except for like it tries to play this Chinese Japanese thing, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Like it doesn't really give you context for it. Like they're just like for the like you hear it all the time. It's just like for the Lin Kuei, for the Shirai Ryu, and you have no context for it. It's like, okay, what's going on? So that was kind of disappointing, you know, and they don't really understand each other. But then for some weird reason in the fight, like Sub Zero suddenly speaks English in 1600s Japan. That's, I mean, that may be nitpicking, but oh my god. Okay. All right. So anyway, Raiden comes, takes the daughter. So Raiden, oh gosh, I just wish they did so much more interesting things with him. Like, I love his lightning. He comes in and lightning, like lightning is his thing. He's the thunder god, and yeah. So moving past that, like that is literally the best part of the movie right there. And at that point, you're just like, all right, I'm in. They're in this to win it. They're in this to win it. And I was fully in like hoping for at least an 8 on this after that because I was just like, damn, if the rest of this movie is this fucking cool, it's gonna be great. But unfortunately, it did not hold, and it was very sad. So then it goes talking about the tournament, and this was another weakness of this movie. Like, it made it very point that not Shao Kahn. I mean, I imagine it was probably him, but um, Shang Tsung. There we go. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm choking all over my words right now. Shang Tsung, he is killing champions as they are born on Earthrealm, so that they can just steamroll the champions in the tournament. What's left of them, or that maybe there won't be any left. And it's just like that's cool. That sounds like something that Shang Tsung and all these guys would do, and Outward would do. But then it does it in a really sad way. Like it makes Mortal Kombat. It has rules. Like it exists solely so that Outward could not. I mean, in the beginning it was like invade, but I think in what was it, 3 or 4, it was established that they can invade, they just can't absorb Earthrealm into Outworld without the 10 tournaments in a row in Mortal Kombat. So But then, like Shang Tsung, he goes. Oh God! So I'm skipping ahead. So that's gonna come later. But yeah, Shang Tsung just did not convey the proper feeling to me of like this is an imposing, very dangerous person, which is unfortunate because I think the actor could have done it. I think again it was just bad writing. So anyway, yeah, so they're trying to kill all the Earthrealm champions before the thing even starts. So then we come to Cole Young, an MMA former MMA champion who now sucks. He's doing $200 fight MMA fights and losing, which is not great. And like there was nothing endearing about it. Like, he has his daughter, he has his wife. His wife doesn't watch him fight anymore. His daughter sort of sits, like, is the, I don't know what the official term is, but then like the coach, the one who like keys coaches the fighter while they're in the fight, just like do your uppercut, control the ring, what stuff like that. And I was just like, okay. So that's where we meet Jax. And this is before his metal arms. Like, it seems like for every Mortal Kombat movie, like, and you see Jax with his arms, you're just thinking to yourself, all right, how's he gonna lose them in this one? Yeah, it's it's a doozy. We'll get into that. So yeah, he meets him. He's just like, let me see your mark. Pulls it down. That's not a birthmark. It's a mark. And he's just like, whatever. So, but we find out later that him and Sonya Blade, who I think they've horribly underutilized and then massively misused later in the movie, they've been essentially tracking him because they know that he is a target for assassination from Shang Tsung's kill squad. So Sub-Zero attacks, and it's just like, there's snow. I mean, I get most people don't know who Sub-Zero is, but it's like there's snow in July. I don't know. I think that was an interesting thing, and I think I see what they were trying to do in like just getting his theme and stuff like that. But it's just like, I mean, what's the point? And if he's an assassin, like with worlds that do kind of know him, like how's he going to sneak up on people since you know that he's coming? I don't know. But yeah, so this was awesome. So Jax and Sub-Zero fight. And I love this fight because it shows like what it would be like if a normal person were to try to go up against one of these Mortal Kombat like characters. Because he puts up a good fight. He's special forces. He is trained. But Sub-Zero, he can free stuff. He's freaking special. Like, I liked with the shotgun, he just freezes the top, and then little pieces of shotgun are just like frozen, like coming out. It looks super cool. Like I said, the visuals are not something I'm complaining about in this movie. The visuals looked pretty damn good. There are, again, a couple exceptions, but most of the visuals were pretty damn good. And then he loses his gun, like it just is shattered. It's frozen, it's shattered. Then they fight, he breaks his arm, and then he grabs him, and he just freezes his arms. And then he shatters them. And it's just like, whoa. Like, that's intense. That is super intense. Alright, so after that, Sub-Zero assumes that he's dead. It turns out he's not dead, so we'll meet him later. So he gives Cole, how to find Sonya, and she's interrogating a captive mercenary named Kano, who has a mark because apparently he killed the dude that had the mark, and it passed on to him. Oh, but man, Kano was a blast. He's just immediately just spouting one-liners. Just it's just hilarious. Oh, there's a point where she throws a knife into his leg. It's just like, oh man, he cracked me up. I loved Kano. I loved Kano. He was a box of fun. Oh, they did him dirty too, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So, sides off, Reptile. So I did enjoy this. Once again, he had the acid spit. He had tongue attacks. He looked kind of like a giant kimono dragon, which was an interesting take, one that I didn't see before. I mean, he looked cool. He looked super cool. He could go invisible, And then Kano fights him. Like, he just beats the crap out of everyone, and then Kano fights him. And then with fight, like, he punches through, grabs the creature's heart, and it's dead. And he's just like, Kano wins. It was great as he's holding this heart. And then Cole and so you're talking outside. They come into the main building, and Kano's sitting there. And he's just like, your beer's shit, and you're almost out of it. Like, oh my gosh. Kano is just tons of fun in this. Which is sad, again, because he's not meant to be a main character. But he carries the second act so hard. Because Cole can't do it. You're just not interested in Cole. Like, he just seems like a guy that's down on his luck. He's kind of like, but then to protect his family, he goes try to figure this out. And it's just like, I am way more entertained with Kano right now than I ever was with Cole. And I've only known him for 10 minutes worth of this movie. Yeah. So they convince Kano to take him to the temple because he knows where it is. And it's just like, offers $2 million. Just like, dude, you live in this shithole? Why that? I don't believe you. And then he's just like, all right. They talk, and he goes, $3 million, then I keep whatever I find in the temple. And they're just like, deal. Just like, are you really going to give him $3 million? It's just like, dude, I live in this shithole. You think I got $3 million? Yeah, so it's... oh, man, it was... So they go to the temple, and this is where they meet Liu Kang. And it blows my mind. So apparently, Raiden can, transfer, banish people from any realm, anywhere, which is an overpowered power. It's stupid. And yeah, they don't find because of Kano, like, well, I mean, he takes him to the rough location, I guess, but Liu Kang is out there waiting for him. And then walks him to the temple. And then once at the temple, they explain it, and you meet Kung Lao, who I also really enjoyed because again, who doesn't love Kung Lao? He is a his arrogance and his just confidence in himself is just so endearing. And even for those it's off-putting, like he's just such an endearing character. I don't know why. I can't explain it because most people who I'd find that cocky and confident, I'd be just like, whatever, dude. But no, I love Kung Lao. He's one of my favorite. I was very sad in Mortal Kombat 2. Anyway. So then brought to Raiden himself, he's just like, and he's just like, he just turns, he doesn't turn him, I think it was supposed to like try to build them up to try to find their arcana, whatever that is, their special power, because only people with this sign can have arcana. So Sonya is just like, I don't have one, so she has no power, so she's nothing. I forget what he says to Cole. But yeah, Kano is just like, hey, what about me? Oh god, I loved Kano's one-liners. There was a point in the desert scene where they were walking where Liu Kang does his fire, and he's just like, oh, just teach me how to. Oh my god, what was the name he used? Oh man, I'm blanking out on these references. I apologize, but yeah, he just has so many good one-liners, and they made me laugh. And they'll probably make you laugh too, and then you'll be really sad because you realize you actually give more of a shit about Kano than you do about Cole, who's supposed to be the main character of this film. So Shang Tsung attacks the temple with Sub-Zero and Melina, and Biden erects a shield to stave them off. Like, and this is another really bad part of the story that they decide. So, you're not supposed to attack before Mortal Kombat unless it's in a Mortal tournament, uh, you know, by order of the Elder Gods. And then, but Shang Tsung is just like, they're too lazy. They're not going to do anything. And it's just like, well, then what's the point of the tournament? You could just freaking bring in however many people you want and just kill these. Oh god, it was just the logic. The logic was so bad when it comes to this. It's just like the explanation of why he's killing off these champions. Like that in itself is cool and something you expect Outworld to do. But the logic behind it, that the Elder Gods are just too lazy and they won't stop him from doing this, like that's just terrible logic. Absolutely terrible. And then Raiden, of course, is not supposed to interfere. I mean, technically he does, and it's just, I don't know. Yeah. The story was just not well written, I think. So then we go and we find Jax, who is missing his arms, and now he's got little tiny, tiny little baby metal arms, and it's just like, they're dinks, they're little dinks. And yeah, he's disappointed. She talks him up and to keep going. So Cole and Kano train with King, allowed to unlock their Arcana. It does not go well at first. Like Cole he can't get there. He's just it's like the owner of the gym that he was at first. It's just like, you're just a punching bag. And then Kano, he can't quite do it either. Oh my gosh, but yes, I do like the joke they made in this scene. So in Mortal Kombat, Liu Kang can do like a wheel kick, and it trips you, it knocks you down, and you can essentially juggle someone with that because you can just do it over and over again. And so that's what he does to Kano. It's just like, is that the only move you knew? You know? And then he jumps, and then as he comes down, he just does it again. So that part was kind of funny. But yeah, it was the music. Again, was just, oh gosh, they need to actually buy the rights to the actual music, the actual song, because holy shit, the music made me just. It was not good. It was not good, especially in any battle sequences. And the montage, the training montage for this, like, it was bad. It was just filled with like references and one-liners. And again, Kano carried it for most of the time. Cole was just, it was pretty silent for most of this movie, which was his undo. Like, again, bad writing. I hope they can do better justice in the second one because I'm already not excited for a second one. Ugh. So during dinner afterwards, like, it's just like he's getting arrogant, and then Kung Lao, he just feeds him on and gets him pissed and gets him pissed, and you see his eye just getting redder and redder and redder, and then laser beams. So that's where it comes from. So he's not like half cyborg at this point or whatever. He just has the laser beam in his eye, and that's his Arcana. And despite his persistence, Cole's unable to awaken his. So Raiden allows Cole to return to his family, which, why would Raiden do this? He's putting innocents in danger at this point. He's trying to save Earthrealm. Like, I mean, you could make the argument that maybe that's kind of the point. Once his family's in danger, he awakens our Arcana. But that's more like corrupted or evil Raiden, like in Mortal Kombat 11 and 10. But yeah, that's not something Raiden would do. Like, that's terrible. That is, why would you do this? Let him go home? I mean, he's dead anyway. It was super bad. So this is where Shang Tsung gathers Sub-Zero, Melina, Raikou, Nataro, Goro, and Kabal for another assault. So learning that Kano used to be a Black Dragon as well. Kano is the head of the Black Dragons. And I guess they're the only two left. I'd need to look into lore to actually verify that. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, so that's how Cabal knows Kano. Cabal had way too many lines. It's like, tone it down. Like, I almost felt like they were going with what's his name, the Aaron Black, I think. Is that who it is? Let me just check this real quick. Yes, Aaron Black. I felt like they almost got that kind of a vibe for him instead of a Cabal vibe for him, which is a little weird, but it's like, whatever. And obviously Kano's going to defect. Like, that's who Kano is. He's in it for himself. That's who he's always been. He's one of the great survivors of the Mortal Kombat universe. He's been around forever, and oh man, So he attacks the shield with his laser, allows the Outworlders to attack. It's just like, okay. So Lao battles and kills Zutaro. So he does the hat thing where he throws his hat into the ground. It goes like a chainsaw, and then as it's gosh, my nose. As Zutaro comes to attack him, grabs her, and then pushes her into the blade, and she just gets sawed in half. And it's beautiful. Like, I love, like, the fight scenes, again, the battle scenes are are top notch. I had no complaints on any of the battle scenes, except for the ones at the very end that were way too fucking short, and it pissed me off. So after that, Jax does not. So Jax fights Raikou, and he kind of gets pounded. So yeah, it does not go well. This first attack does not go well. So Kung Lao gets killed, which I was tremendously pissed off at. It's like, they better bring him back. He's not supposed to die until the second tournament. It's like, I was very mad. I was very mad because he was a fun character, and it took away what made that character endearing. Like, that death was a sharp moment. But killing him this early in the movie, if this is a franchise or whatnot, like, that's bad. That's bad. He could have been fun, but they also sidelined him in this movie, which was very upsetting. And again, you notice how I'm not mentioning Liu Kang much. Sidelined the fuck out of them on this movie. Oh my gosh, it was bad. So the Youngs, so Cole Young goes back to his family. Goro attacks him in a freaking barn. Okay. So Goro, I mean, you clearly can see he's CGI. It's a little hokey, but honestly, for CGI, like, it's not bad compared with like how bad it was in the original movie. I mean, I can deal with that. I can deal with what they did, but it seemed weird. Like, why would Prince Goro be here in a kill squad? Like, he's the champion. He wouldn't. Oh my god. Yeah, it's a little weird. The logic's a little hokey. So he kills Goro. Like, he gets pounded. He can't beat him because he's like super strong. But then he awakens as Arcana, and it's like this weird, I don't know, like copper coiled or something like suit. And every time he gets hit, it glows red. And I'm thinking it's just like, is this where it just like he takes the energy of a punch and then kinetically like shoots it out? But you only really see him do that once with an uppercut. And aside from that, it's just like he just takes it. It's just like, is that it? It just essentially makes him a human punching bag, and he's just able to take the blows. And it's, yeah, his power was awful. His power was dumb. It was uninteresting. I see what they were trying to do, and it just was not executed well. It was bad. And then they kill Goro, which, again, they better bring him back, or he dies in the first tournament. Like, that's the whole thing. He's Prince Goro. He's the freaking previous champion. Which is again why I'm wondering why the fuck he's there on a kill squad anyway. He's a fucking prince of the Shokan. Yeah, it blows my mind. I have no idea what, like, I'm hoping, and it looks like they're gonna try to make a sequel, but oh my gosh, if they don't explain some of the horrible logic that existed in this movie, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be super bad. So after that, he goes back to the temple, does the attack. So Shang Tsung and Sub-Zero, like, or Raiden reveals to Cole that he is Scorpion's bloodline. Which, I mean, if they had played up on that, that could have been very interesting. But it was barely played upon. Like, literally, there was just, a few weird visions, a few pictures here and there. Like, it's kind of like the rivalry of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Like, you're showing it, but I don't get why. Like, why is this important? Which is bad because both of these things are very big things, and this was a very big drop on their part. Because yeah, you need to know where the heck he why this is important. Oh, it's super dumb. And then Raiden just teleports them into the void. It's just like, why didn't you teleport them all there in the first place? If Shang Tsung can't get there, why are you having them train in a place that he can totally kill you in? Oh, that's another part where the logic of this movie is just like, what? Oh my god, I just didn't get it. So yeah, Lau dies, and I'm super pissed. They better bring him back because that was a not very touching death. Yeah, it was dumb. It was dumb. And then Cole apparently does this weird plan. Like, it's so cheesy and like, what? Owie. Needed to be done. Sorry. My own hairs are making me itch. It's just like, we need to control the fight and separate them. Just like, hey Raiden, you can send anyone from any realm anywhere. Just like, yep. So then you have this whole thing, like this final battle where everyone has their arcana, and it's just like super. So first you go to, well, first he gives Cole Hanzo's kunai. So Jax fights Reiko again, and it was a cool fight. Like, he has big arms, like when trying to save Sonya. That's his arcana, and he has now huge giant metal arms, and that's super cool. I can deal with that. But that fight lasted about 30 seconds. It was a short ass fight. Like, and the way it ended, he just brings his arms, smashes this guy's head, just totally blew up like a freaking watermelon. It looked awesome. But again, the fight was only 30 seconds. Like, this is a final fight. That was really, really short. Yeah. Now, Cabal with Kang, that was much better. Well, I won't say much better because it was still way too freaking short. Like, come on. This is Mortal Kombat. We want long fucking fights. It doesn't have to be all fights in a movie, but I mean, if you're going to show a fight, make it a good fight. Don't make it last like less than a minute or a little over a minute. These were short fights for final fights, too. Jeez. But it was kind of cool because he gets Cabal trapped in some sort of fluid. I don't know why he can't move. I don't know what the fluid is, but yeah, he can't move. He uses his fire and he does the dragon, the animality, and it was cool. Like I did like the fact that they included fatalities, the animal fatalities. Like it was cool. Like they showed a lot of moves from the games. So I do appreciate their respect of that in terms of that. But there were a lot of choices, as you've heard, which I did not really agree with. It was super sad. All right, so Sonya goes back to her place. Kano is waiting. Why he's waiting, I don't know. And then they fight, and she kills him by plugging a loogie encrusted gnome into his eye. And I'm just like, that was a disappointing fight. And you killed the one good thing in this movie. Well, it wasn't the one good thing, but you killed the best character in this movie. And he was. And it's Kano. And it's not even at the first tournament yet. Like, this is bad. Kano is like one of the great survivors of Mortal Kombat. He's freaking betrayed and served everyone at this point. I don't even think he died during the whole time crisis period of Mortal Kombat 11. I'd need to replay again, but geez, he is something else, and I loved him, and they killed him in a very uninteresting and lame way. But yeah, anyway, so now Sonya has his mark, and it's just like, okay. And then she comes back. And Cole is not doing well against Molina. Molina is like beating the crap out of him. But I mean, he's got his whatever super suit or I don't know, and he can take it. I don't know. It's dumb. It was disappointing. And then she just shows up and immediately can use her Arcana, which is like a blast. She shoots once, and that's it for Molina. So again, a beloved character killed way too soon in a very uninteresting way in a fight that was way too freaking quick. Fuck. Ugh, that was so agitating. So Sub-Zero appears. He abducts Cole's family. He wants to do a one-on-one fight. It looks like he's about to be beaten, but it's super weird. So it's his the ring, the MMA ring. Everything's frozen. His daughter and his wife are sitting frozen in ice, somehow alive. And this is the longest fight of it all. This is the fight that's supposed to be the huge culmination. And this is like a this is a 15-minute fight at least. Maybe a little longer. But yeah, this is a 15-minute fight at least. How the hell are his family still alive? Like, the logic of this family. So Cole's blood ends up on the Kunai, which releases Hanzo from the Netherrealm. Why? I don't know. I think that, yeah. And at this point, your suspension of disbelief is just like so far out there, you just can't. You're just starting to notice all the things now. And so now he's Scorpion, but it's just like he's talking in Japanese. It's just like, watch after my bloodline. It's just like, how does Cole understand this? This is like 16th century Japanese, which would be different than modern Japanese. And this is a kid that was freaking a foster kid from, I forget what city, but it's just like, how is he gonna know Japanese? I mean, he's completely Americanized, and oh my gosh, like, oh, the logic of this movie. Ugh. So Scorpion and him fight. This was an amazing fight again. Again, any fights where Scorpion and Sub-Zero were fighting, both the beginning and the end, mwah! Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I love that fight. But it's sad because it's like a few bright spots in what is a bland, uninteresting movie that tries to do right by the characters, but ultimately just screws them over, a lot of them, and makes you care about ones that you shouldn't be caring about, like Kano. Jesus. But yeah, it just seems like Act 1 just went into it. But anyway, let me finish. So Scorpion disappears after he kills Sub-Zero, which is just like, okay, so Bihan is now dead, which, he's supposed to die in the first tourney. I don't know how they're going to play that, if it's going to be Noob Saibot or bring him back as a Spectre or whatever. But they do need to bring Sub-Zero back, otherwise, because there's no Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat, gonna freaking break something. Alright, so Shang Tsung arrives. He's vowing revenge as he sends his champions' corpses back to the Outworld. So they better bring him back. I mean, he says that death is just a portal. Another portal. So I hope they bring him a lot of them back. I don't know if all of them, but I hope they bring, quite like Melina, I hope they bring back. I hope they bring back Goro. They have to bring back Goro. Cabal. Like, ugh. And I really hope somehow, some way, they bring back Kung Lao, because that was a really shameful death. That was stupid. It was, ugh. But then he's just like, I will bring armies. And then Raiden just banishes him. Just like, really, dude? Come on. And then he's creating a new list of warriors in preparation for the next tournament. It's just like, what? Oh, this is crazy. So his current planning to recruit them. And then you end, at the very end, with Cole no longer doing $200 MMA fights and losing, but he's going to Hollywood. And then it goes over to this poster of Johnny Cage, who I imagine is uncast because they've never showed his face. All you need to show is his belt with Cage on it. And you know exactly what it's all about. So again, oh my gosh, this made me so angry. I am, like, now talking about all the things that upset me, I'm really tempted to bring this down to a 4. Like, oh my god. Yeah, just bad writing. Like overall, it just seemed like the first act was great. It just dived right into it. But then the second act was just like so stretched out. And instead of Cole carrying it, it's Kano carrying that entire second act. And then the third act, it just happens. And then you blink and it's over. Like except for the Sub-Zero fight. Like all these fights were just way too freaking quick. And that's not a good thing, especially when you're fighting your end fights in Mortal Kombat universe. And then just the logic, the music. Oh, so yeah, I'm gonna keep it as a 5. You know, this wasn't this the visuals were great. I did like the actors, even though the writing really held them back. I hated a lot of the choices, but I love the fight scenes. So for nothing else, go see this movie for that. I mean, this is not a movie I'd want to see again, except for the fight scenes, which is sad. So that is my Mortal Kombat review. I hope you all enjoyed, and after that, and I will catch you next time. See ya.